Yeah, you hear about them parties? Nah, that wasn't for me. No, sir.
Yo, the streets are buzzing. Word is Diddy might be facing life behind bars. And now, it's sounding like he's trying to cut a deal with the feds by flipping on some serious names. And we're not talking about no background extras here. Insiders are whispering that he's about to drop names of real heavy hitters. And one of those names, Jay-Z, yeah. Diddy might be coming for his own day one. Now here's where it gets even wilder. Beanie Sigel just jumped in, and he's got folks shook. He's saying Jay better run for cover before it's too late. According to Beanie, Diddy got dirt on Jay that goes way back to the 90s. We're talking old school industry secrets, the kind that could end careers if they come to light. Beanie's making it sound like there's way more going on behind closed doors than anyone knew. So now everybody's asking, what does Beanie really know about Jay and Diddy's history? And more importantly,
what's that? That's Mauve King?
Niggas feeling marvelous.
You gotta get the shoes though. Y'all know what it is.
Is Diddy seriously about to start snitching on everyone just to save himself? The noise surrounding this is getting loud, and it ain't looking good. From what's being said, the heat on Diddy is intense. He's looking at some real hard time, possibly life, and when the stakes get that high, even the biggest moguls start to fold under pressure. Word is, Diddy's not planning to take the fall solo. He's allegedly lining up names to throw under the bus. And one of the biggest names on that list, Jay-Z. But this drama didn't just pop out of thin air. Remember when Diddy's son Christian dropped that diss track, Pick a Side, last year? He warned all his dad's celeb buddies that if they didn't stand by Diddy, there'd be consequences. And guess what? Jay-Z didn't just go ghost. He had his top lawyer, Alex Spiro, step up and claim that he and Diddy were never even friends to begin with.
Beanie Sigel was the shit.
Yeah, he was fired.
And they would only let Beanie Sigel only sell so many records. This came from an executive. For Benny, they would you couldn't be bigger than Jay-Z on Jay-Z's label.
The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, alleges that rapper Jay-Z, along with Diddy, indecently assaulted her at a New York house party in the year 2000 following the MTV Video Music Awards.
Holmes attended the award show with his then girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez.
Damn! So now people are wondering, did Jay try to distance himself to avoid the fallout? Or is there something deeper going on here that's finally bubbling to the surface? So word on the street is, Diddy snapped when he saw how Jay-Z publicly distanced himself. And now, insiders close to the fire are saying Diddy's done playing nice. He's ready to do whatever it takes to protect himself, even if that means dragging Jay-Z's darkest secrets into the light. This is exactly why Beanie Sigel's warning to Jay is making way more sense now. Beanie wasn't just another artist. He was Jay's ride or die back in the Roc-A-Fella days. Dude put in work in the studio and in the streets, holding it down through thick and thin. He even stayed loyal when it meant losing his freedom. But when things went south for Beanie legally, where was Jay-Z? Nowhere to be found. He left Beanie to face the storm alone. Fast forward to now, Diddy's facing a possible life sentence, and guess what? Jay-Z's ghosted again. No support, no loyalty, just silence. But here's where things start to get real messy. Jay and Diddy go way back, since the 90s. So that means Diddy's seen everything. The deals, the backroom convos, the shady plays, the street connections.
Right now I'm facing weapons violations, attempted murder. They try and get a boy 20 to 40 years. They came to me with a deal. That deal was 18 to 36 years. Of course, I turned it down. Thought this was America, people. Guilty until proven innocent, huh?
And most importantly, who got saved when the feds came sniffing around? If Diddy really flips and starts naming names, he could spill how Jay-Z managed to stay squeaky clean, while others like Beanie took the fall. That wouldn't just wreck Jay's image. It would prove everything Beanie's been saying for years. Let's break down Beanie's story real quick. Back in the early 2000s, Beanie wasn't just some side artist on Roc-A-Fella, he was key to the empire. He was repping the label hard, pushing his own line, state property, and starring in movies too. Beanie was more than just a rapper. He was building something big with the team. But then everything started crumbling. Around 2004, things turned ugly. Roc-A-Fella was falling apart. And behind the scenes, Jay-Z and Dame Dash were locked in a quiet war over who really ran the show. The loyalty, the unity, it all started to fade.
You got me. So at that time, when, I'm going to court, and we about to be on tour. We on tour. So
A whole nother tour.
yeah, we on a whole nother tour. So, I'm going for my bail hearing in the feds. And the judge asked Jay, everybody's saying all these good things and all that. The character witnesses, Dame, and, everybody's saying, and even Jay said a whole lot of good things about me, and the judge was going to let me go, monitor. And she said, would you be willing, and that's the part that people don't have, would you be willing to be responsible for his whereabouts, not be responsible for my actions, just his whereabouts? Would you be willing to do that? Provide us with all the information, saying that he's going to be here, there. And after all that good, he said no. But it was like the way he said it, and he put his head down, he was like, no, I've never been crushed like that ever in my life. Cause I'm like, damn, this is my man, like and I looked at it like, all right, no. What if I had to get the out of there? I'm in jail, I'm still tall, but what if I really needed to go? This was going to my mind. Like,
get out of jail, you say?
Bro, I had attempted in the state and the federal government and all this shit. The 40 years is over. This is what I'm facing, 40 years.
Right.
What if in my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, what if I really needed to roll? Be on a run and go. Like, I'm from this my man and I love him. If he's get that, I'm getting my man, I'm getting him out by any means necessary. So for me to look him in his eyes and I'm shackled around the waist, ankles and everything, and the man was like, no. Like that fucked me up. It took everything in me not to let one go. Like that took away a lot of that I thought that we had.
Right.
Like that's big bro.
And now, with Diddy ready to air it all out, the truth might finally come spilling out, and it might not be pretty. Beanie got caught in the crossfire, loyal to both Jay-Z and Dame Dash. But when the smoke cleared and Jay took over Roc-A-Fella with that slick new Def Jam deal, Beanie started getting iced out. Just like that, he wasn't part of the inner circle anymore. That's when the betrayal really started to sting. While the label drama was popping off, Beanie got hit with serious federal charges. But did Jay-Z step up for his guy? Nope. No calls, no legal help, not even a shout out. Beanie was just left hanging. And for someone who helped build Roc-A-Fella from scratch, that had to feel like a straight up knife to the back. Beanie thought when he went down, his Roc-A-Fella fam, especially Jay, would have his back in court. But nah. All he got was cold silence. Beanie's even said it in interviews. He felt abandoned and totally betrayed. Meanwhile, Dame Dash was riding for him the whole time. He showed up to court, made his support loud and clear, and stood by Beanie when it counted.
The question is, did Jay really call up them people? Just need to know to add them to the infested extermination list.
Listen, before I even got there to the building, you gotta understand this. It's all documented. This year's Powerhouse, Jay came last year. In the Philadelphia Daily News, the day after the Powerhouse, it had an article. And I didn't even go to the Powerhouse last year. It had an article in it. Inside sources say Jay-Z beefs up security and threat that a retaliation from Beanie Sigel for dropping him from the label.
This was in the newspaper.
It's in the paper. It's public record. Go. It's $20. You can search it and find it. It's public record. That was last year. So when I'm reading, it's like, damn, what the? You know what I mean? Inside sources say.
Right.
Where that come from? I ain't never see the powerhouse where they got boot cops walking around with K9s and all that shit. Go on the internet, Google it. Bernard Hopkins was there. I didn't even know Bernard was there.
Right.
Go to allhiphop.com. He confirms it.
So there you are, just like the song says.
Yeah, because what happened was, I stood right in the, and because they made sweeps. When I came in the building, and people was going in the back and all that, where the dressing rooms was at, we was standing in the back, me and my peoples or whatever. Bleak come out with 5 bodyguards. What's up, C? No, what's going on? Damn, what's up? What you doing? Who back there, Jay? Come on, let's go back there. And you keep on moving the conversation. You don't want to go back there. Your bodyguard's there, and I don't got no, you know what I mean, to pass. He was like, man, you need to come holler at the big hump. Man, dude, don't f with me. I ain't going back there. And that's what I told him. Big homie, don't f with me.
Dame didn't flinch when things got messy. And while Beanie was deep in the legal trenches, Jay was out here shining, dropping the Black album, talking about retirement and grabbing headlines. But that retirement, it didn't even last long. A few months later, Jay was right back in the spotlight, stacking more power while Beanie sat locked up. By 2005, Roc-A-Fella wasn't the powerhouse it used to be. Jay was sitting pretty as the new head at Def Jam. Dame and Biggs had gone their own way, and Beanie, he was stuck, forgotten, left behind while the empire he helped build moved on without him. And now, with Diddy's name dropping and Beanie speaking up again, people are starting to connect the dots. And it's not looking good for Jay. Beanie dropped his 3rd album, The Becoming, and it was solid, no doubt. A powerful project recorded while he was battling court cases and fighting to stay afloat. But even with all that pain and truth packed into the music, the album didn't get the push it deserved. And guess who wasn't there to back it? Jay-Z. Despite how strong the album was, Jay barely lifted a finger. Beanie's name wasn't a priority anymore. In later interviews, Beanie dropped heavy hints that Jay was intentionally holding him back, blocking him from chasing other deals, keeping him locked into Roc-A-Fella without ever actually helping him level up. Beanie felt like he was being kept in a cage, used for the brand, but never given the real support he earned.
Was getting ready. We thought he was going to go to jail for a couple years. He was on trial. So I was trying to make 4 albums for him, or 5. I was more bothered when Beans chose to go with Jay. That one hurt. Because I'd done a lot and prepared. I chose State Property over Rockware. And I wanted to just roll out with State Property. But it almost like he tricked Beans to shelf him, and he f***ed his life up to me doing that. But I had him, you know what I mean? Like, that was my new Jay.
Then, in 2009, boom! Things exploded when Beanie dropped the diss track, What You Talking Bout? And he didn't bite his tongue at all. That track went straight at Jay-Z's neck. Beanie called him out for being fake, selfish, and said straight up that Jay used him for street cred, then tossed him aside like trash once he wasn't useful anymore. And how did Jay respond? Like it didn't even matter. He brushed it off in interviews, saying Beanie was just dodging responsibility and blaming everyone else but himself. No real emotion, no defense, just cold dismissal. But now, years later, Beanie seems like he's done with the beef, but not with the truth. He's owning up to some of his mistakes, but he's also making one thing crystal clear. His biggest mistake was trusting Jay-Z over Dame Dash. And with Diddy possibly getting ready to spill the tea, Beanie's side of the story might finally hit different. Because now the receipts are piling up.
Dame actually came and got me when I got out of prison. And we was on a tour bus and they was interviewing me. And they asked me then and there on a bus. Now I'm just getting out of prison. Like he at the jail picked me up, and they posed that question that I was, you know, or made the statement that I was going to be with Dame Dash Music Group. And I said then that I didn't want to make that choice between Jay or Dame. I just wanted to stay neutral. I believe if we had those conversations, I believe I would have rolled with Dame. I'd have rocked with Dame. Yeah, if Dame set me down and he had a plan, regardless what the plan was, and mapped it out like this was going to do, the smartest decision at that time for me would have rolled with Dame, because Dame was more accessible than Jay was. Dame was in the office every day. You could talk to Dame. You know what I mean? Dame used to come and chill on the block in South Philly. You know what I mean? Dame pull up and Biggs at Mom Duke's spot. So, yeah, I think if we would have sat and he would have showed me and explained to me, you know, our business plan and what we was going to do, that would have been an easy decision.
Dame Dash recently came straight for Jay-Z's neck during an interview on The Art of Dialogue, accusing him of tricking Beanie Sigel and straight up sabotaging his career. Dame didn't hold back. He said he always saw Beanie as the future of Roc-A-Fella, someone who could carry the torch long after the original crew faded out. But instead of getting the support he deserved, Beanie stayed loyal to Jay, thinking Jay would ride for him too. But behind the scenes, it was a whole different story. Dame claims Jay wasn't just leaving Beanie behind. He was allegedly moving in silence to make sure Beanie couldn't make a comeback. Deliberate blocks, shady timing, and quiet plays to keep Beanie stuck in place. And guess what? Beanie eventually spoke up and co-signed everything Dame said. He even admitted he messed up by not appreciating Dame when he had the chance. That's how deep the regret runs now. When it comes to Jay-Z, Beanie didn't mince words. He said it felt real shady, like Jay was making secret power moves to hold him back. Beanie pointed out how Jay would always drop his albums right around the same time as his, almost like he was stealing the spotlight on purpose. And supposedly, Jay even limited how many records Beanie could move, capping his growth on purpose.
I don't think one man could destroy another man's life. It's ultimately in your own decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like I was always close. And I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top of me. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe.
Now, Beanie owned his part too. He didn't dodge his legal troubles or pretend he was perfect, but he made it clear. Jay's actions weren't just random timing. There was a pattern, and it wasn't in Beanie's favor. Now fast forward to all this talk about Diddy getting ready to spill every name to the feds. Fans are piecing it together. Jay-Z's got a long history of cutting people loose the moment the pressure hits, and that pattern's getting way too loud to ignore. And maybe, just maybe, karma's finally knocking on Jay-Z's door. If Diddy really starts naming names, this could blow the lid off everything. What else is hiding in the shadows? What secrets are ready to drop next? So let's hear it. Is Jay finally facing payback for all those betrayals? And if Diddy starts spilling for real, how deep do you think this rabbit hole goes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear the truth. And I'll catch you on the next one.